Imagine being so rich that you launch your own sports car into space, not as a marketing stunt for somebody else, not as a publicity deal, just because you can. And the wild part, that's probably not even the most expensive thing this guy owns. Elon Musk has been ranked as the richest person in the world for years now. His net worth fluctuates with Tesla's stock price, but at peak valuations, he's been worth more than the entire economy of countries like Portugal, Greece, or New Zealand. And when you have that kind of money, buying stuff stops being normal. You don't shop, you acquire. You don't lease a jet, you own 3. You don't argue with the social media platform you hate. You buy it for $44 billion and you rename it. Today, we're going through the most ridiculous, the most surprising, and the most insanely expensive things Elon Musk actually owns. And by the end of this video, I promise, you're going to look at your bank account a little differently. But before we get to the jets and the rockets, I have to warn you, number 1 on this list isn't a car. It isn't a house. It isn't even on Earth. And once you find out what it is, you'll understand why people say Elon plays a completely different game than the rest of us. Oh, and quick heads up before we dive in, I actually made a full video about how Elon Musk lives in 2026. His daily routine, where he sleeps, what he eats, how he runs 5 companies at the same time. If you want to learn more about him after this, go check it out. The link is in the description. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with something that sounds like a joke. The richest man on the planet, a guy worth hundreds of billions of dollars, said his primary residence is a house that he rents for about $50,000. You heard that right? $50,000. That's less than a base model Tesla. The house is in Boca Chica, Texas, right next to the SpaceX launch site. He rents it from his own company, SpaceX. And on top of that, there's a tiny prefab unit on the SpaceX property called a boxable casita. It's a foldable 375 square foot box that gets delivered on a truck and unfolds into a tiny modern apartment. Musk has said he uses it as a guest house, not as his main home, although a lot of people online still think that's where he actually sleeps. Now here's the kicker. Musk used to own mansions, plural. He owned at least 7 properties in the Bel Air area of Los Angeles, sprawling multi-million-dollar estates. One of them was once owned by the actor Gene Wilder. In 2020, he basically announced on Twitter that he was getting rid of all of them. He said he wanted to own no house. He called material possessions a distraction, and then he actually did it. He sold them off, one for almost $30 million, another bundle of properties for $62.5 million. So picture this, a guy who could buy any house on Earth, any castle, any island, any penthouse, chooses to live in a box. Whether that's genius, performance art, or just deeply weird, I'll let you decide. Okay, so before we talk about the Tesla floating in space, let's talk about the one that started it all, the original Tesla Roadster, the first car Tesla ever made. It sold for around $109,000 when it launched. Musk owned the very first production model. He drove it. He used it to commute. It's not the craziest price tag in the world, but here's where it gets interesting. The next generation Tesla Roadster, which Musk has been teasing since 2017, is supposed to be something else entirely. Tesla has claimed the car will go from 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. And Musk has talked about a special SpaceX package version that would supposedly use cold gas thrusters, like rocket thrusters on a car. The promise price for that version, $250,000 and up. But here's the honest part. The car has been delayed for years. It still hasn't shipped. And a lot of those features were promises, not specs you can actually go test drive today. So whether the rocket thruster Roadster ever becomes real or stays a Twitter announcement, we'll have to wait and see. Here's the thing about being a billionaire who runs companies on 2 continents. Flying commercial is basically impossible. So Elon Musk doesn't fly commercial. He owns his own Air Force. His main jet is a Gulfstream G650ER. He's had it since 2016. Brand new, this jet sells for around $70 million. It can fly 7,500 nautical miles non-stop. That's roughly Los Angeles to anywhere on Earth, without refueling. It cruises at Mach 0.925, which is just barely below the speed of sound. The cabin fits up to 19 passengers. It has 16 panoramic windows, a private stateroom, and the air inside gets fully replaced every 2 minutes. And before you think that's enough, he also owns 2 Gulfstream G550s. Each one of those is worth around $50 million. So we're talking about roughly $170 million in private jets just sitting on a runway somewhere. In 2022, Musk ordered an even bigger one, the Gulfstream G700. That jet costs around $78 million. It's Gulfstream's flagship, 5 living areas, 20 panoramic windows, the biggest cabin in business aviation, and a grand suite with a shower. Yes, a shower in the sky. His main jet logged over 400 flights in a single year. The fuel bill alone runs into the millions. And fun fact, the same model of jet, the G650ER, is also owned by Jeff Bezos and Cristiano Ronaldo. So Elon basically flies in the unofficial Billionaire Club uniform. Okay, this one's my favorite. In February 2018, SpaceX did the first test launch of its Falcon Heavy rocket, the most powerful rocket flying at the time. Now, when you test launch a brand new rocket, you don't want to put anything important on it because there's a real chance it'll blow up. So usually, companies use a block of concrete or some steel weights as a dummy payload. Elon Musk used his personal car. He took his own cherry red Tesla Roadster, the one he actually drove, strapped it to the top of a Falcon Heavy, put a mannequin in a SpaceX spacesuit in the driver's seat, named the mannequin Starman, set David Bowie's Life on Mars to play on a loop on the radio, and launched the whole thing into space. The launch cost an estimated $90 million. The Roadster itself originally around $100,000, and now that car is in a permanent orbit around the sun. It actually crosses the orbit of Mars. It will keep flying through space for millions of years. There is a sign attached to it that reads, "Made on Earth by humans." Think about that for a second. The most expensive marketing stunt in history. A car that nobody will ever drive again, floating between planets for the rest of time. That is, by definition, the most stupidly expensive thing anyone has ever owned, because nobody has ever spent more money to lose something on purpose. Now let's get into where Elon Musk's money actually lives, because this is where the numbers stop making sense. He's the largest individual shareholder in Tesla. He owns roughly 12 to 13% of the company, depending on the year and depending on stock awards. Tesla's market cap fluctuates a lot, but at peak valuations, his stake alone has been worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Just his Tesla shares. Then there's SpaceX. SpaceX is private, so we don't have a clean public stock price for it, but the company has been valued at around $350 billion in recent funding rounds, and Musk is the controlling shareholder. The exact percentage of his stake isn't publicly disclosed, but most credible estimates put it at over 40%. Whatever the exact number, we're talking about tens of billions of dollars of value in one company that doesn't even trade publicly. And here's what's wild. Most of his wealth isn't liquid. It's not sitting in a bank account. It's locked up in shares. So when people say Elon Musk is worth $400 billion, what that really means is if he could magically sell everything at today's prices without crashing the markets, that's what he'd have, which he can't, which is partly why he doesn't. But functionally, he still controls all of it. Two of the most influential companies on the planet, one defining the future of cars, the other defining the future of space travel, and he calls the shots at both. In April 2022, Elon Musk did something that genuinely shocked the business world. He offered to buy Twitter, the entire company, for $44 billion. He bid $54.20 per share, which was a 38% premium over the stock price. The number had a joke baked into it. 420, a weed reference, that's how he negotiated. Then he tried to back out, there were lawsuits, there was drama, there were leaked text messages, and finally, in October 2022, he closed the deal anyway. He walked into Twitter HQ, literally carrying a sink. Let that sink in, he posted. And from day one, he started ripping the company apart and rebuilding it. He fired most of the staff. He renamed it from Twitter to X. He killed the bird logo that the company had used for over a decade. He brought back banned accounts. He turned the blue checkmark into a paid subscription. Now, financially, the acquisition has been brutal. Fidelity, one of the investors in the deal, marked the value down by 72% at one point, but more recent secondary deals have pushed the valuation back up toward the original $44 billion mark. Whether you love it or hate it, what Musk did was historically rare. Almost nobody just buys an entire major social media platform with their own money and remakes it in their image. That's not normal billionaire behavior. That's I have so much money I can buy the public square behavior. So, what's number one? What's the single most insanely expensive thing Elon Musk owns? It's not the jet. It's not the Roadster orbiting the sun. It's not even Twitter. It's the company building the rockets that are supposed to take humanity to Mars, SpaceX. Here's why this one wins. The Falcon Heavy, the same rocket that launched the Tesla into space, can put 64 metric tons into low Earth orbit for around $90 million per launch. And the Starship, the next generation rocket SpaceX is building right now, is designed to be fully reusable. Musk has said that one day, Starship launches could cost as little as $2 million per mission, with fuel costs of about $900,000. That's not a typo. That's launching to orbit for less than the price of a single first-class plane ticket, spread across passengers. The whole point of SpaceX, according to Musk, isn't profit, it's getting humans to Mars. He said this in interview after interview. He's spending billions of his own money on what he calls a civilization-level insurance policy. Just in case Earth gets hit by an asteroid, or a virus, or a war we can't recover from. So the most expensive thing Elon Musk owns isn't really a thing. It's an ambition. It's a private space program. Most countries don't have one of those. He does. So that's it. From a tiny prefab house in Texas, to a car drifting between planets, to an entire social media platform he bought just because he didn't like how it was run. Elon Musk owns some of the most absurd, fascinating, and expensive things on Earth, and in some cases, off of it. The crazy part is, none of this even includes his personal stake in companies like Neuralink, XAI, or The Boring Company. We might have to do a part 2 just to cover those. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments. What do you think is the wildest thing on this list? The Roadster in space? The $44 billion app? Or the fact that he chooses to live in a box? Hit subscribe if you want more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.